10 places in Tennessee you shouldn't move to.
We can reel off the numerous beauties of Tennessee. In the volunteer state, there's plenty of sunshine and lots of wide open spaces. There are plenty of fabulous places that are truly ideal to live in, nice to visit, and convenient to raise families in this state. We have videos on this channel where we have itemized those cute locations. However, the state has a large number of places that outright suck. These are the worst places to live in Tennessee, where you won't want to move to if you can help it. We can be friends if our thoughts on this are something you can consider. This video shows you the 10 places in Tennessee you shouldn't move to. Number 10. Crossville. Our heart goes out to over 11,000 residents of Crossville because of its unemployment rate, which is 12.8%. Due to this, the poverty rate in the city is about 22.5%. Its median income is only $667. Considering that, you may rightly wonder how many residents of Crossville would be able to buy a home with a median value of $177,600, or those that won't default on the median rent of $667. No wonder it's such a high crime rate of 4,669.8 per 100,000 people, which is about 99.05% above the national average. If you choose to ignore our advice and move to the city, please note that your chance of being robbed there is 1 in 10 if you spend a year or so there. Number 9. Dyersburg. We don't know how the people in Dyersburg would receive this, but they already know that no one will advise anyone to move to their small city. The only thing that can attract people to this place is its cheap home values. On a positive note, it has the cheapest homes in the entire state. While cheap homes are a welcome development, there's nothing else to sustain life in the place. Though it's called the gateway to everywhere, it's not the gateway to prosperity and rest of mind. If it's a gateway to anything, it is to crime and poverty. The employment rate here is just 8%. The crime rate in this historic southern town in the far northeast of the state is 6,797 per 100,000 people. Number 8. Newport. If you move far east of Tennessee, you will find Newport. Just don't plan to spend many days there, as it's one of the 10 places in Tennessee you shouldn't move to in the first place, with a property crime rate of a whole 7,180 per 100,000. With less than 7,000 residents, this high crime rate is inadmissible. In this isolated city, crime is prevalent as it has the overall crime rate in Tennessee. The rate is 3 times higher than the national average. Its property crime rate is by far the highest in the state. If you move to this place, your chance of having your belongings stolen or your property damaged is 1 in 13 if the rate in 2020 is still anything to go by. Number 7. McMinnville. McMinnville is about halfway between Nashville and Chattanooga. We have good things to tell you about this city, home to 14,000 people. We agree that it's the nursery capital of the world with its 450 nurseries. In spite of that, it's not the best place to move your family to if you don't want to raise them in poverty. About a third of the residents of this city live in abject poverty because there's little job opportunities. The schools are not providing the right kind of education. All these provide breeding grounds for crimes, the rate of which is way more than the national average. Some people claim that McMinnville has the highest divorce rate in the state. Well, you can check that and tell us what you find. Number 6. Rockwood. While contemplating where to move to, don't just think about Rockwood if you have a reason to consider somewhere north of Chattanooga. This city between Crossville and Knoxville, with about 5,400 residents, is the center of poverty. Though a small town, it requires a big change which is not likely to happen so soon. About 25% of the residents in this city live below the poverty line. Those working here are earning below $35,000 per year. You can expect nothing different from a crime rate that is about 140% of the national crime rate. It's even worse for women who earn very low. Heroin and meth are a big issue here. Number 5. LaFollette. The only thing we want to tell you about this city in Campbell County in Tennessee is that it is one of the 10 places in Tennessee you should never move to. Why? Okay, let's do this to make it more engaging. After watching this video, please search for our video entitled 10 Worst Cities in Tennessee. We've discussed a lot about this small city with its dwindling population of about 6,700. You will be amazed at its huge unemployment rate of 23.8% and its poverty rate of 27.89%. Its crime rate of 3,496.8 per 100,000 people is about 49.05% above the national average. Okay, enough of LaFollette and let's proceed to the next city. Number 4. Morristown. The case of this city in the northeastern part of the state is an irony. Morristown is one of Tennessee's manufacturing hubs. In fact, it has over 100 manufacturers. This should, under normal circumstances, translate to a lot of job opportunities for about 30,000 residents of the city, while it should enjoy economic growth. Unfortunately, about 25% of residents of this place still live below the poverty line, and many of them are still unemployed and are very broke. Despite its beauty and nature, education is poor in Morristown, while its crime rate is more than double the national average. With garbage littering the streets, kids cannot safely play outside. Number 3. Ripley. This crummy city in the western part of the state was recently ranked as the worst place to live in Tennessee. Do you agree with that? This is something we love for you to comment on after the video. The city of about 7,800 residents has positioned itself as the unemployment capital of the state. Only 1 in every 8.4 of its residents are employed. So it's the place where we have most of the people out of work in the state. Work is pretty difficult to come by here, and where there's idleness, crime becomes the occupation. Expectedly, Ripley's crime rate is 4,900 per 100,000 residents. Just the rate though. Given that rate, you stand a 1 in 57 chance of becoming a victim of violent crime and a 1 in 26 chance of that of property crime if you move to this place. Number 2. Covington. Please don't move to Covington if you're keen on getting qualitative education for your kids. Schools in this city are underperforming because of underfunding, so it's not the right place to raise a family. Just down the road from Ripley, Covington, with its about 9,000 residents, is a city of poverty. Many people here are out of work and are indeed broke. Never mind those attractive nationalist t-shirts advocating the love of Covington. How would anyone really fall in love with a city with the police department struggling to handle 130 violent crimes plus 451 property crimes in just 1 year? All that among just 8,800 residents. Crimes in this place are aided by the high poverty rate. A home is broken almost every week. This shouldn't surprise anyone who remembers its property crime rate of 5.114 per 100,000. Number 1. Memphis. Memphis tops our list of the 10 places in Tennessee you shouldn't move to. No, if you don't have to live in Memphis, you don't need to. It has a rather high crime rate, which makes it one of the most dangerous places to live in the state. The city is especially bad for violent crimes. For several years now, the rates have been so high. Recently, the violent crime rate in Memphis is multiple times the national average by over 400%, and it ranks as the highest in Tennessee. Also, the rate of murder in the city is the highest in the state. In 2020, as many as 289 murders were committed in the city. That same year, there were 4,442 car thefts there. The rates are similar for burglary and arson, and there's no shortage of bad news. If you choose to move to this place and ignore our advice, your chance of being a victim of property crime is 1 in 42, as every single day, on average, of 10 property crimes are committed in Tennessee. Sincerely, would you want to move to any of these worst places to live in Tennessee? Kindly tell us what you think about these places by volunteering your valued comments. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell.